Greetings from Seoul. This massive megacity rose from the ashes of war and grew into one of the most futuristic cities on Earth. It's a place that's booming with industry and culture, with some of the most exciting music, television, and film on the planet. Follow along as we explore this country's history, its incredible food, its amazing natural beauty, and epic nightlife. This is Seoul. We'll begin this journey in a futuristic cab with holographic rims. And let's enjoy a K-pop montage as we head to Seoul city center and I go over some facts. About half the entire population of South Korea lives in the greater Seoul area, and that's over 25 million people. This is a very industrious place with a GDP of $1 trillion thanks to its massive automotive and consumer electronics industries. Household names like Samsung, Hyundai, Kia Motors, LG, Lot, and a lot more. Not to mention Korean cinema and music adding to cultural exports as well. Needless to say, we're excited to be here, and we've arrived at another Conrad. So let's go ahead and switch the music for something a little classier. This lobby is absolutely stunning, and I love all the Ginco leaf theming throughout. A popular motif in Korea. More on that later. In the meantime, we'll head into the elevator and up to our room. As is the case with most Conrads, this is a very contemporary luxury room, with all the amenities you'd expect.
Very nice, clean and modern. I like it.
And speaking of modern, let's check out this high-tech bathroom, which is totally gorgeous, clad in marble, and features a TV in the mirror, as well as a tub and a freestanding shower. Anyway, here's the view.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
Our view looks out over the Han River and the Hongdae Mall across the street. And since it's already pretty late, we're gonna stay on property and have dinner downstairs at the Butcher's Edge, which had some fantastic cocktails. And as the name would imply, premium cuts of meat. Everything was delicious, but it's time to call it a night and get this trip started. It's the next day and our first full day in Seoul. And here's that river view, a bit more visible. We'll start the day with the Conrad's breakfast before heading down and hailing a cab. It's a short ride from our hotel to our first destination. And for those of you who think vlogging might be easy, here's a reality check.
It's our first day to explore, and we're gonna stop. It's our first day here in Seoul, and we're gonna start our explorations with this place we're in. It's our first day of exploration in Seoul, and we're starting with Bukchon, Hanok. Bukchon, Hanok Village, which is a traditional...
One more time.
It's our first day exploring Seoul, and we're starting our explorations with
Bukchon Hanok Village.
Bukchon translates literally to northern village, as this village is in the northern part of the city. And Hanok is a traditional Korean home, which this village is full of. Originally established during the Joseon dynasty, this village was built for the country's wealthy, high-ranking officials and nobility. Now it plays host to tourists who cosplay in traditional Korean dresses called hanbok. I decided to stay in my traditional Los Angelino clothing called sweatpants. This place is gorgeous, and remarkably, a lot of people still live here despite the crowds.
These are people's homes, which I can't imagine living here, having people stop on your doorstep to take photos every 5 seconds every day of the year, but very cool. It's reminding me a bit of Kyoto, where Kyoto was more minimalistic. This has a lot more details in all the textures here.
While not as ornate as a place like Thailand, there is a bit of a decorative nature to the masonry here. As we made our way higher into the village and away from the crowds, we actually found some quiet spots where we enjoyed some stillness. Golden hour descends upon us, and we found ourselves a vista with a beautiful view. Time now to head down some steep stairways and long alleyways and onto the Jongno district, where the streets are absolutely saturated with charm and ginkgo leaves, which for the Korean people symbolize resilience, survival, and continuity. These trees have stood in this country through war, occupation, and rapid modernization. Beyond that, I think they're super pretty and pair nicely with a glass of wine. An absolute prerequisite for fall meandering, in my opinion.
Alright, we just came across this vending machine that has all the Briggs-Myers personality types. Gotta try it.
I am an ENFJ.
I'm an INTP. I share that with Einstein and others of equal intellectual prowess. Jeez. My head is full of grand ideas. For example, people who have launched spacecraft to the moon and developed vaccines against diseases are likely to be the same personality type as me. There's more, but it's kind of getting to my head reading this out loud, so I should go.
We're on Insadong Street in the Jongno and about to do a very necessary Korean thing, KBBQ. This is 853 and their specialty is pork.
Can't go to Korea without some Korean barbecue.
For those of you who might be unaware, Korean barbecue is thin slices of meat and sides prepared at your table. Being LA-based, we're no strangers to Korean barbecue. And this, straight from the source, did not disappoint.
That was some bomb-ass KBBQ. Upon exit, they give you a little bit of fabric spray so you don't have to smell like me.
Rounding the corner, we found ourselves in a strip mall and got ourselves a caricature. Don't we look cute? Anyway, let's call it a night here. For those of you interested, here's the Conrad's Big Buffet, and we're starting here because it's gonna be a big day. Today we're going to Gyeongbokgung Palace, and to get there we have to pass through Sejong Dero, which is a long street in the Jongno lined with the statues of notable Koreans, including this guy. This is Admiral Yi Sun-sin, and he led an absolutely epic naval campaign against the Japanese. The most famous battle being the Battle of Myeongdong, where he had only 14 ships to stand against the Japanese armada, 1,000 strong. He and his navy were ultimately victorious. A total badass. And while we're on the topic of military...
So I didn't capture this on camera, I didn't want to embarrass the dude. I was just approached by a Korean man with a Marine Corps hat. He just thanked me for helping him as an American, I guess, as if I had anything to do with it. But they really like Americans here.
Anyway, anecdote over, and here's another notable Korean.
Sejong the Great.
Born Yi-do, Sejong was the fourth monarch of the Joseon dynasty. The great thing he did was commission the creation of a Korean alphabet, giving literacy to the common folk and changing Korean identity forever. Moving right along, we'll follow the Hanboks to Gwanghwamun Gate and the entrance of the palace, where you'll find royal guardsmen in period-appropriate clothing. This palace is actually 3 times the size of Vatican City and spans over 107 acres. The whole complex is comprised of over 500 buildings, most of which burned down during the Imagine War but were rebuilt in the 18th century. As we make our way into the grounds, I'm struck once again with how ornate the details are. There's definitely a distinct Korean aesthetic, and it was amazing to take pictures of it. And I think this is best covered through a montage. As we exited towards the rear of the palace, we found more ginkgo trees. We'll leave classical and traditional Korean behind and head to contemporary Korean, in a place called Hongdae. This neighborhood is named after a local university, and so it's filled with college kids, and naturally, more bomb street food.
What do you think?
Let's try one.
There's also a lot of trendy shopping here. If you're familiar with LA, it's very Melrose coded, or St. Mark's if you're more familiar with New York. Hongdae is the birthplace of modern Korean music. In fact, as you explore its streets, you'll notice performance areas where kids can draw a crowd. In case you didn't know, pop music is huge in this country. Like I mentioned before, K-pop has evolved into one of the country's most powerful cultural exports. It's actually subsidized by the government, reaches every continent, and generates billions of dollars. Massive entertainment companies like SM, JYP, and YG operate systems in which they cultivate talent as young as 12 years old. These huge corporations are basically in the business of manufacturing international pop stars. The fascination with pop stardom is obvious in the streets of Hongdae because you can find photo studios everywhere. This is Photo Drink and it's the one we chose. All these photo studios have a lot of props and styles to choose from. You'll load into a photo booth, make your selections, and take a few photographs. Check out this K-pop duo. What do you think we should call ourselves? Let me know in the comments. As night descends on Hongdae, so do people. And bubbles. We searched the streets for something to do and found guns. Back out to the street and there were more street performances. I actually found a space that was available.
I'm gonna try out my Type 5 right here. What's the deal with airline food?
Huh? Hongdae has a ton of dining options. Pretty much everywhere we looked, there's an eye-catching restaurant beckoning us, and we were getting kind of hungry. This is Dandelion Flower, and it certainly caught our eye. I actually didn't cover this much, but suffice it to say that the decor was cool and I enjoyed the noodles. Anyway, time to party. It's Saturday night, and we're going to Itaewon. Itaewon evolved from the multicultural crossroads for foreign residents to Seoul's most internationally flavored nightlife district. And one thing's for sure. There are crowds and music from every genre spilling out into the streets. And I think it's time to show Korea our moves. I gotta say, I felt a lot of love in these streets. We found ourselves heading underground to a nightclub called Purple, where the lighting was on brand, the energy was high, and we had a few drinks. In fact, I may have over-imbibed. Luckily, this day should be a bit more chill, and we'll start it here. Let's see what I have to say. Never mind, my mic's dead. What you're missing is an explanation that we were supposed to take the scenic Namsong cable car up to Seoul Tower, but that's booked out months in advance, and so our consolation prize is Cafe Pokpo. But hey, we're not mad about this gorgeous waterfall view. By my reckoning, this is a wonderful place to have a cup of coffee. We noticed there was also a water mill here and went to investigate. There actually turned out to be a whole hiking trail back here that led up to a beautiful park. Not a bad little backup plan. Anyway, on to the next thing. We'll take another cab across town, and by the way, check out these futuristic crosswalks.
Wow! We just arrived in Myeongdong.
Post-1945 and the Korean liberation, Myeongdong became a major hub for finance and commerce as the country modernized. This neighborhood is also known for its vibrant food scene, which I was happy to explore.
Delicious.
Alright, snacks covered, on to the shopping.
The quest for the camera continues. I need a medium format camera. We've been all over Japan looking. Empty-handed so far. We're in Seoul now. It's close enough to Japan. They might have some used Japanese goods, so let's see.
This is Kasan Camera, and they had an extensive collection of used Japanese gear. And I actually found two of the cameras I've been looking for.
Between a Rolex and these two cameras, I made out like a bandit.
Yay! By the way, I've been thinking about offering some photography prints here. Would you be interested? Let me know in the comments. As it grows darker, we're treated to the sights and smells of Myeongdong at night. And I gotta say, it definitely seems that the nighttime brings out the crowds. And the streets here have a lot more noise than the streets of Tokyo. As these bags indicate, we're enjoying all the shopping this area has to offer. And for Diana, that means Korean beauty products in particular.
Best in the world.
Unfortunately, we were caught in the rain, which cut our time in Myeongdong short, but it was cool to see, sort of like Blade Runner if it wasn't so dystopian. Anyway, we make for the refuge of the Conrad and its rooftop called Vvertigo. There were really cool igloos available here, but they require a reservation, and we didn't have one. And so we stayed inside, had some french fries, and some sangria.
It smells amazing. Oh my god.
Another day of sightseeing awaits, so we'll close the night here. It's the next day, it's still raining, and this is the day we were supposed to explore Gangnam.
It is our final day in Seoul and it is pouring, so we're gonna spend our time indoors in a mall, in Starfield Mall, where apparently there's some giant must-see library.
Or so Instagram would have me believe. And it happens to be in Gangnam anyway. Gangnam is an upscale posh neighborhood made famous by Korean singer Psy, who created a viral music video that went on to become the most watched video in YouTube history. And here's a statue to commemorate that success. This is the Starfield Library.
Knowledge.
It's actually a pretty unique space. But there's not much to do here except get B-roll shots like these and look at books. But I'm an American Philistine, so let's go here. McDonald's Run, Seoul Edition. Like many markets outside the US, there are some unique items here, and we wanted to try a few on our way to the airport.
I've never seen this before. It's called McShaker fries. It comes with a little seasoning, and I guess you put the fries in here and shake it up, so let's do that. It smells like ramen powder, kind of. Here you go.
Diana's Big Mac looks as close to picture perfect as I've ever seen.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
It's really good.
Let me try it.
Now, the way I reach for this, you'd think I didn't have my own sandwich, but I totally did.
A sriracha mayo McSpicy. Not a bad little sandwich.
We're gonna finish this McDonald's run with a taro pie.
That's actually really good.
Alright, for those of you who've been keeping score at home, here's the verdict. Thailand comes in at number 1, Korea gets the second spot, and coming in at number 3 is Japan. At least where I'm concerned. So Thailand wins the Asian McDonald's Wars. Now granted, I do have a lot of Asia left to explore. For the meantime, we're bid farewell with a rainbow. What'd you think of Seoul? Let me know in the comments. Personally, I've always been a fan of K-pop and K-dramas, and now I'm a fan of the K-country. Please like, hype, subscribe, it helps out tremendously with this algorithm. In fact, the best thing you can do is watch another video. And as always, thanks for watching.